Hi, this is Broadsword Media, and today we're doing a review of Wreck-It Ralph. I got my video game shirt on here, and I'm all set, ready to go.
Sean and I are video game enthusiasts, and we both enjoyed the film pretty well.
Indeed.
Well, anyway, back to the movie. Well, I'll mention the good parts first. I really enjoyed the main character, and the supporting characters. And the villains were pretty interesting, too. But the biggest jackpot in the movie has to be the video game cameos.
Exactly. I mean, there's many famous characters in there, and trust me, these aren't spoilers. You'll see them on the poster for the movie. We got Sonic the Hedgehog in there. Bowser and Dr. Robotnik are in the same room, and yes, I call him Robotnik. I know everybody calls him Eggman, but I grew up with him called Robotnik, and I think that sounds clearly better. And yeah, so having these cameos of these famous video game characters is pretty cool.
Yeah, especially for all the nostalgic adults who grew up with these video games. You know, Street Fighter, Pac-Man, they're all there. My personal favorites is how they're used. Particularly, there's a couple scenes with Sonic that are pretty interesting, but like I said, there's going to be no spoilers in this videos.
Exactly.
So we're just going to give our opinion on what we thought of the movie. Are there any good parts besides the cameos you enjoyed?
Well, I'd actually say the plot pretty much was mostly well done. I mean, the story, I don't want to give it away, but I mean, what Wreck-It Ralph was trying to do, he's trying to be good. He's tired of being a bad guy and being treated poorly because he's the bad guy, and he wants to be welcomed.
Yes, he wants to be the good guy and earn himself something that will get him recognition.
Exactly.
Which is a very relatable character. There are also cliche things in the films I didn't like, such as the Disney villain formula. Now, I'm not going to give too much away here, but there's a certain scene that was done in this film that was similar to previous Disney films that's been done to death, and that was kind of a distraction for me. Not too big of a distraction to not enjoy the movie, but it was a very noticeable distraction, and I'm sure there are other people that might have noticed it too.
Yeah, as for me, I know it would have been expensive to have these video game characters featured in more scenes, but we're talking about Walt Disney here. They're like taking over the world. They bought Marvel, they bought Lucasfilms. I would have liked to have seen more use of the video game characters. Sonic is in a few scenes, but his lines are limited, his actions are limited, and you only see Bowser and Dr. Robotnik in 2 scenes as well.
Well, that leads to the big other Disney crossover movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Another film which had cameos, but they were only in there for like 10 to 15 seconds. I think there's a good reason why they didn't oversaturate the cameo appearances of other video game characters. If they were to saturate other scenes in the film, they would chew up the scenery, and that would ruin the film.
Yeah, that's a good point. It just would have been a little more interesting if, maybe they even said a few lines or just were in there for just a little longer, not necessarily part of the main story.
Well, Bowser doesn't talk, so.
True, yeah, he's just grunts, makes noises.
But back to the comparison I made with Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The difference between Roger Rabbit and Wreck-It Ralph, I think there were much more characters in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It was very nostalgic for a bunch of people who grew up with those cartoons, similar to how people grew up with these video games. But it's a whole bunch of characters, and there are several video game references. But just like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Wreck-It Ralph also has the cameo characters have some significance to the plot. Which is good, which is a very fair comparison between the two. There'll be some people out there who think Roger Rabbit's better, will say Wreck-It Ralph's better, but to me, both are very equally good. I enjoy the cartoons that were featured in Who Framed Roger Rabbit just as well as the video game characters that were featured in Wreck-It Ralph.
Well, I'm actually going to have to disagree with the cameo characters actually having to do with the plot. The plot would have still gone the same way without them there at all, actually. They didn't contribute to the plot in any way.
Well, Let's take another movie from the 80s, from actually the same year as Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Wizard,
Okay.
which also featured cameos of other game series, but the only significant game that had anything to do with the plot, as well as be an advertisement for, is Super Mario Bros. 3. At least with this film, it doesn't feel commercial. It's just the characters are there for the nostalgic feel.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing I like about this movie. It isn't some kind of advertising platform by any means. It has the characters, but they're not like sellouts.
Exactly.
All right, the cast they chose for the voice acting was perfect for this movie. Jane Lynch was great for her character, and John C. Reilly, who plays Wreck-It Ralph, good voice for that kind of character. His personality, trying to be good, great voice for that character. Sarah Silverman, great job. The whole crew, they were like the best voices to fit their characters.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a big Sarah Silverman fan. In fact, I don't really like her television program, Sarah Silverman program, but her role in the movie, top notch. I gotta give her props for that. And another thing I could give top notch is the animation for this film. It was great. John Lasseter, who was behind the majority of Pixar movies, also Disney banner production company, he was involved in the department of this film, the production of the film, and so you see a lot of that Pixar feel in this animation. It's not like the previous 3D Disney animated features, Meet the Robinsons, Bolt, Chicken Little. This one, you actually feel that they actually put effort into this film. I mean, the same effort they did with their previous 3D film, Tangled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this film, the artwork was amazing. It looked beautiful. The effects were extremely well done. Just everything about this film was good. It looked visually beautiful. The acting was amazing, and the plot was pretty good too.
Yeah, and not giving anything away, it was a good plot, and we recommend it for kids who are new to video games and adults who remember video games. And my overall rating, I would give it an 8.2.
And I would give it an 8.8. That brings our total to 8.5. So we highly recommend this movie. I mean, obviously not the best rating you can get, but it's a very solid rating. You should give it a watch.
Yes. Although minorly flawed, the majority of it is breathtaking and nostalgic.
Thanks for watching our review today. Sorry it had been so long since we posted a review, but we'll continue to post more soon. The new Bond movie Skyfall's coming out soon, so we'll get a review of that as soon as we can.
You can catch my Oh My God Ruler videos on my Oh My God Ruler account. Some new videos are coming up.
Yeah, so check out Oh My God Ruler's channel. It's featured in my channel.